Hello from Queen Coach Mo. Are you the queen of people pleasing? Are ya? Are ya? That's what we're going to talk about today. And as I get started, I'm going to clean off my glasses so I can see better. I coach on this topic all the time. As a matter of fact, one of the interesting things about helping women land their dream jobs is if they're currently working, resigning from their current job. Or sometimes it's working with women to help them get through job trauma of having lost a job, downsizing, mergers, acquisitions. We actually have a fair amount of gals in our workshop right now that they're going through a job transition, not of their choosing. But interestingly enough, one of the things we hear all the time on our complimentary career clarity calls is about pleasing others, loyalty, and staying in a bad job where someone is underpaid, undervalued, and living in too small of a box for what she brings to the table because of the people. Now, if you're a client of mine, say hello. Let me know that you're here so I can say hello back. I'm going to ask you to participate in today's topic because I want to ask you your opinion about a few things. Um, I actually spoke with my clients last night about the crown. My brother said, heavy is the head who wears the crown, but that's a different word than wears. Heavy is the head who bears the crown. Heavy is the life who is a people pleaser. If you don't know my work or you don't know me, I don't know where you've been for the last 7 years. But anyway, I am career coach Mo Fall. I am the creator, founder, and the kick-assiest, kick-ass career coach on the planet where I do one thing that no one else does in my career coaching. I bring women's souls back to life because it is the essential fuel of a thriving, vital life and career. And hello to Kelly. And let me know who you're here. As we go into this topic, so many women, almost all of them, have a people-pleasing program. I'm going to get into the physiology, the psychology, the sociology, and the spirituality of people-pleasing. History, context, why it robs you of your future, what to do about it, and also to help you identify when you're doing it. Because isn't that important? You know, off and on over the last, let's call it 10 years or so, I've tried a variety of different eating styles to see which one was complementary to my body. Now, as a cancer survivor, I'm actually certified in plant-based nutrition. I've been vegan many years off and on in my life, even when I was younger as a really healthy runner. I can remember a few Thanksgivings um, saying to my family that I wasn't going to have turkey. And it was as if I was, breaking up with the family. What do you mean you're not going to have turkey? How can you have Thanksgiving without turkey? I'm going to drink some of my tea. I was going vegan at that time. I was honoring my body with more plant-based foods and less animal protein. There's a lot of science that will confuse anyone, but there's some science around that. And to be honest with you, our bodies are equipped to handle things and to be able to digest and take care of uh, almost anything we eat, to be honest. But then as we get older, it gets a little bit more sensitive. And as a registered nurse, I've always been intrigued by how many trillions of things have to go right in the body for it to work well. Why am I digressing into plant based and the body when I'm supposed to be talking about people pleasing? Because every system relies on a few fundamental concepts. I talked about perfectionism on Monday. If you're watching me live, this is Wednesday. If you're watching this or listening to this in podcast, this is the third in a series of the Queen of series, because I hear women talking about things as if they are proud to be perfectionist, if they're proud to be an overworker, if they're proud to be people pleasing. Ladies, let me know in the chat, in the comments below. What is the upside of people pleasing? Is there one? Is there an upside to people pleasing? Let me know if you have one. When I shifted my eating style, my family judged me. I think at the time, this example, I was like 25, 26 years old. I was not an elite runner, but I was a regional runner. And I would win awards in different 5K, 10K races. And so I was keeping my body in training top-notch shape. And when I chose a certain lifestyle choice of what I wanted to eat so that I could do what I wanted to do, it was against the family. I was eating vegan to take care of my body, and my family didn't agree with it, didn't like it. Yes, indeed, Fran, our old belief system we adopted that is not matching our values. Here's the tricky part, Fran. It matches some of our values. So in my family, where we get along, where there's a little bit of dysfunction, but not tragic. I wanted to be fitting in and to do the right things by my family. I care about my family. I don't want to be ostracized. I don't want to be looked at as causing trouble or doing anything that is against the family values. Most women are brought up to create harmony in the family, to organize, to stimulate, to facilitate harmony. Most of the women we coach, their number one core soul value is loyalty. We come about it in a certain way, and it's a lot of fun to point that out. But here's the thing, people pleasing, when it depletes you, when it takes away from who you are, is tricky. And it eventually leads to a deadened soul, and it leads to depletion of all of the energy that is meant for you to fuel your life. Now, the example of eating vegan on Thanksgiving is a small, specific example that we can see. We can deconstruct it and see it because it had very specific elements to it. But when you're people pleasing at work, you may not even notice it because it's so infused in your default mechanism of who you are and how you are in the world. It has been programmed sociologically as a woman. It has been programmed psychologically as a human being wanting to be part of her tribe and part of the community she belongs to. And as a very young person, these programmings are primitive and survival. It is important as an infant, as a 1-year-old, as a 2-year-old, as a 3-year-old, as a 4-year-old, as a 5-year-old, as a 6-year-old, as a 7-year-old, to please your family unit so that you will survive. As a matter of fact, if you're in my workshop, you know these things to be true, and you understand also that the collective energy around that is in the base root of your energy centers. People pleasing is a fundamental survival tactic that we learn as a child. We do. It's part of our divine nature as well to satisfy other people around us. It's how a soul is shiniest. So not only does it conflict with our values to not people please, but it also confuses our psychological, sociological, and fundamental primitive programming. How can I not people please? Who am I if I'm not part of this family, this work department, this team? Who am I if my husband is mad at me? My wife, my partner? Who am I if I'm doing what's important to me? Oh, what's the first word that comes to your mind? We are recognized as good then. Yes, we are, Fran. And isn't it good psychological validation that we are a good person? And you see, we continue to stay in this trap. So someone, I can't see everyone's names on the comments, just the way this program that I stream these Facebook lives. If you haven't registered your name and allow them to show your name, it just comes over as Facebook user. And yes, we are avoiding conflict when we are a people pleaser. And yes, we are disempowered. As a people pleaser, we are disempowered because we are trying to avoid conflict. And hello to Dorothy. I want to say hello to her. And we had Kelly coming in earlier. Hopefully you're still here, Kelly. Nice to see you, ladies. Absolutely beautiful to see you. As a benefit of how we take care of our ladies in our career, kick-ass career workshop, we want to talk to you about what's going on with your career and see if that people-pleasing thing is bringing you down and holding you hostage. Book your complimentary career clarity call at mofall.com/live clarity. All the women who we have lifted into not being people pleasers, but to be the queen of their soul and to be the queen of their destiny. And I'm going to explain in a second how this is not a problem, but most people don't know how to do this. The women who we have worked with in our workshop have decided that the way that they are programmed sociologically, psychologically, physiologically, and from a very primitive default mechanism is no longer working. Now, did it ever really? Yes. This is the tricky part. mofall.com/live clarity to book your complimentary career clarity call. And that's what we're all about. We're going to help you dissect what's going on in your career. Just not the surface level stuff, but we're going to dive in. Hello, Glenda, and hello to Amanda. Hey, Amanda, great to see you. How's it going? One of our brilliant, wonderful, lovely clients. You are programmed to be a people pleaser to survive as a young person. As a woman, you have estrogen circulating in your brain, in your body. When you are an infant, between infant and 2, estrogen is creating zones in your brain that develop a higher sensitivity toward connection with others. So because estrogen is a big part of the development of your physiology, and because you're a human being who needs to rely on others in your formative years, you are destined to be programmed as a people pleaser. Oh, this is overwork. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wrong show. So you are destined to be a people pleaser by how you are wired physiologically, sociologically. And what then happens, follow me here, because it's important to deconstruct this and understand it so you can navigate it. If you don't know the hill that you're climbing, you're going to take the wrong trail. Yes? So, programmatically, in your first 7 years plus, but the first 7 in particular, you are programmed to please the people around you so that you will get what you need to survive. Survival instincts are dominant in the human species. This is the reason why we have a sex drive. This is the reason why we like to satisfy our hunger. These are primitive survival instincts that take over during certain times. Our job as an evolved human being, especially if we want to be more enlightened and empowered, is to live in the prefrontal cortex of the brain. I know, big science words. Watch out. When we work together, and we should, shouldn't we? You're going to get science lessons all the time. As a registered nurse, as a science geek, as someone who personally, I need to understand the layers of how things are put together so that I can navigate them in my own human experience. I want you to understand it. And listen, here's the thing. When we work together, and you clients love you, you know this to be true. You don't have to spend 40 years figuring this out like I did. You can get it all taken care of in 12 weeks. All of what I'm talking about, we dive in at a very deep level in my Kick-Ass Career Workshop so that you can then elevate yourself, get out of people pleasing, and move toward being a human that is consistent, who is consistent with her value system. And she's also able to get what she wants and live the life that is her divine destiny at the same time. All of that's possible. You know that saying, you can't have it all. You can have some things some of the time. And of course, Abe Lincoln said it in the people pleasing way. You can't please all the people all the time, but you can please some of the people all the time, or all of the people some of the time. It's like, what? How do I do all that? When you come from your divinity, this gets sorted out. Hey, Julie Hine, nice to see you. Early birds catch the worm. Ha ha. It was a late night of coaching, wasn't it? You know, here's the fun thing. I love people. I love people. I love knowing who they are. I love understanding them. I love connecting. I love engaging. I love seeing people shine. I love seeing people get their light bulbs going off and lifting them. I love people. But I have learned in my own spiritual evolution how not to be a people pleaser. Because I got to say something to you. And this is going to be tricky to understand. So lean in a little bit here. And hello to Poonam as well. You cannot be your divine, most wonderful self if you are people pleasing. If that is an inordinate driver of how you approach the world, you are never going to live your truth. Now, you can be a people lover, a people engager, like this queen. Wait. The crown has to go a certain way. You can be a people lover without being a people pleaser. And you know what? As an executive for so many years, I had to navigate my team tracking with me and wanting to work hard for me with the goals of the organization and my own ambitious executive personal goals. I wanted to move ahead. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to have better vacations. I wanted to have more money in my retirement and savings accounts. I wanted to have a freer life. I wanted to redo my kitchen when I felt like it needed to be redone. I wanted to have the things that I wanted to have in my life. So what do we do when we do that is we learn how to navigate the trail of human experience to be more successful. And the greater impact you have as a professional woman, the more domain you have responsibility for, the more money you're going to make. You can't possibly navigate being a people pleaser and do that. It's impossible. It's impossible. If you're going on a hike up a mountain, which is what life basically is. You're not wearing the pack and the water and the food and the supplies of everyone on that hike with you, but many of you are. You get tired, you get worn out, and you start to resent the people you're carrying their pack. Hello to Kathy Beals. Love the idea of being a people lover, not a people pleaser. So freeing. I know, right? I invented it because I am the queen. Da 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 da. I am the queen of metaphors, and quote me on that. Okay, so as you're navigating your life experience, you got to do you. And here's the tricky part. Most women we talk to, most women we work with have lost who they are, so they can't put that piece back in. They can't click in the basic, fundamental, necessary ingredient. So the only thing we know how to validate who we are in the world is to be a people pleaser. And getting your validation from other people because you're a people pleaser. You tell me how that's working. Please tell me how it's working. How is your life and your career working out if what you predominantly drive your decisions and who you are and how you navigate the world is to satisfy other people's ideas of you, satisfy other people's expectations as the predominant driver? How does that work out? I know how it worked out for Kathy and Amanda and Dorothy and Kelly K. Don't know if you're still here, but thanks for joining early in the morning, being up early with me. What happens is that you tragically lose yourself. And this tragedy of losing yourself is something that has to be solved for you to live a life of your own divine destiny. And the work you do in the world is a big part of that, isn't it? The work we do, the contributions we make. There's something very vulnerable about wanting our work to be accepted and recognized and appreciated by the others who matter in our world. Boss, team members, colleagues. There is something magical and special when we are seen in our truth and our talents, and it feels great. I'm not saying that's not important as a human being. Being dependent on it and overworking and overstriding in order to get it is where we fall down. If the people in your life are more dominant of a driver in what you do, who you are, and how you are in the world, you will lose. And what does that look like? It looks like being frustrated, resentful, angry, pissed off, impatient. And I know you don't want to be seen as someone who gets upset if you don't get your way. But what eventually happens as a survival mechanism, another psychological thing that happens to us when we are depleted and not getting our own cup filled, and we expect other people to do it, not here, but deeply rooted in our programming. Because you would never think that. Your brain would never say, oh, yes, I expect other people to make me feel good. You wouldn't really say that. You wouldn't even really want to admit it. Your ego couldn't tolerate it. Now, eventually, you might come to that truth. But it's nothing that any human being wants to accept that they have gotten into. But what happens when you're programmed primitively, psychologically, physiologically, and sociologically to be a people pleaser is it runs amok and you lose yourself. And then you become being the lesser version of you. This, truthfully, I'm going to use a swear word here. So if you've got kids listening, if you're driving in the car or whatever, I'm going to use a swear word here. People pleasing and being depleted as a woman is one of the reasons why women are labeled as bitches at work. I said it. I did. I said it. The reason why women have to act a certain way to get things done in the work world is because they have depleted themselves so much that they don't know any other way to act except in survival mode. I've been there. I've been there lots of times. I've been the angry bitch who had to get stuff done and like didn't care too much about people because I was so depleted, so worn out, so off focus that all I was doing is taking care of business. And when you don't fill your own cup, you are going to run amok on other people. So people pleasing is an absolute inside out problem. You don't have your own self pleased. So therefore, you're running around depleted and you're going to be a bitch. You're going to be trouble. And you're going to try to control it and contain it. And then you're going to repress all these feelings. And then they're going to blow up into something like, I don't know, breast cancer. Okay? Or an angry gallbladder. I'm not preaching to you. I'm not telling you what's wrong with you. What I'm saying to you is this: I understand it at a deep level because I lived it. And I worked my ass off on my own spiritual journey to come back into my wholeness. Now, I spent 30 years doing that. I spent 40 years trying to be a better human being. Maybe a little bit longer than 40 years. I think when I was in high school, I started appreciating, understanding that I had some control over who I was in the world. Up until that point, I was just following the rules of my family and the Catholic Church. That's how I was raised. Okay. And Hannah, yes, I get it. You feel this in your soul right now because it is truth. Okay. Not here. It's truth here. It's truth in your soul right now because inherently, as human beings, we are spiritually on a quest. And so all of the psychological, sociological, physiological programming is actually mostly against our spiritual quest. It's part of the human experience to move through it, to break through those barriers and to understand who we truly are underneath all that programming, which is why the very first thing we do in my workshop is to help you reclaim your soul. That's what we do differently. That's why I'm different. That's why we get awesome results. And our women are on their spiritual path, learning and growing. And as they do that, as they advance themselves as a soul being and claim who they are and their natural gifts and talents and their life purpose, no matter what your profession, your soul is the driver of a better career. And I'm convinced of it because it was my answer, my solution, and it lifted me up to play at the levels in my career that I only dreamt of. I didn't get there out of just hard work. I didn't get there being a perfectionist. I didn't get there being a people pleaser. I got there because I found my own personal spiritual truth. And your spiritual personal truth is a very deep personal experience. And we have a recipe for helping you find it. And we've got a great coaching team. We help you navigate and dissolve the prison of people pleasing, the prison of having to overwork, the prison of the external world winning. I want you to win as a human being on this planet and be the most awesome version of you. And I know that's what you want. How we do that is through a 12-week process that I invented. I created it because it worked for me twice. I advanced my career. $50,000 in the first job, I used my soul, and over 100,000 plus stock options plus big bonuses in the second move. Did I have to be good at my work? Of course. I assume all you ladies are because I always assume that you're overeducated, overexperienced, and over expertise for what you're doing. And it's 99.99% true. The women we work with bring so much more to the table than they've been able to leverage in the marketplace because you're too busy externally and not activating your soul. And this is the fundamental problem. And this is why I decided that I needed to do the Queen of series this week. Because so many women we talk to on the complimentary career clarity calls, mofall.com/live clarity, so many women we speak to have external drivers making their life and their career a disaster because you can't keep up fast enough with trying to be perfect, trying to be a people pleaser, overworking. And I'm covering 2 more topics in this series tomorrow and the next day. All of them lead to the same disaster. Our soul gets depleted when the external world is our number one focus. And when we bring our number one focus back to our soul, here's the irony. You actually do better for others when you are whole as a human. And you're trying to run around and do all the stuff out there that you were programmed to do, and you're not doing it. It's not cutting it because you've lost yourself. And we help you bring it back together. The only way I'm going to help a woman land her dream job is to help her bring her soul back to life. The only way you can claim the career and the life that you want is to get your soul back for yourself. And here's the thing, it's a lifetime journey, but in 12 weeks, we can take you so far, so fast. You're going to save yourself 20 years of time. Thank you, Hannah. I'm really, really happy that this has been helpful for you. Process, thinking how we do school math from start. I know who that is, Kathy. And hello to Julie Hine. Ladies, here's the thing. When you are in your soul's truth, you will have experiences like Kathy, like Julie, like Amanda, like Kelly. Poonam, congratulations on landing your job. I'm really, really super excited and happy for you. The soul is the answer. Don't be looking at it for out there. It's not out there. It's here. I'm 100% certain of that. I am 200% certain of it. I am 300% certain. I am 1,000% certain that the answer to your problems is your soul. The woman in the mirror wants to be taken care of. So today, as your takeaway, I always give homework because, we got to take action. When we're inspired, we got to take action. Who wants to take inspired action today? Give me a yes, I do, Mo. I want you today to start clipping the wings of this people-pleasing habit that you have. I want you to clip the wings. And when you are aware and more sensitive to how this program is directing you, you're going to be able to clip the wings of people-pleasing. So do a little bit of pruning of that today for yourself. Do some pruning of people-pleasing. Catch yourself doing something because you think you're supposed to. Just don't do it. Just shut it down. Now that's going to feel weird and you're going to feel like, oh, what are they going to do? I don't want you to do anything foolhardy, but clip the wings of people-pleasing. Jessie, so great to see you too. You were a real marathon runner on the coaching call last night. As a newbie, I'm impressed. So how I want you to do this is this. What do you need to serve your truth today? Do it. Prune the people-pleasing. Cut. I'm actually going to be more aware of it today myself. I start every day with an intention of how can I serve from my truth, not out there. That's why, clients, I know you're impressed. 6 hours of coaching, not a problem. Hanging out with all my lovely ladies, beautiful. Why? Because my cup is full. If my cup was depleted, I couldn't serve my clients. If I came from depletion and trying to please, not serving my clients. You can't do that as a professional woman either. You can't people please and do your best. You do your best when you are the best version of you. And if that has eluded you, if that is like, how do I do that, Mo? How do I get there? join us. That's how you do it. We have a look, I invented what I do in the workshop because of my truth and my path. It's my proprietary solution. I say that proudly and happily that I went through 30 years of working on myself and figuring it out and making every mistake in the book, tripping over things, getting pushed back. I lost my job 6 times in my career. So don't be talking to me about job loss. I get it, all right? I had to pick myself up after each one of those job losses and figure out the next version of me. Sometimes it took me a little bit longer. Sometimes I needed the break. But each time I dove into me. I'm compressing 30 years of my learning into 12 weeks for all those lovely women who have been in my workshop. And if you want to compress your time zone, your time to learn how to lift yourself up, instead of doing it your way, spinning your wheels, and basically tripping all over yourself and not getting where you want to get and depleting the heck out of yourself, I'm going to tell you what, you're spending the money on the lessons already. You are. I know it because I did it. I know exactly what you're doing. I know exactly what the problems are. I know what you're living. Look, I was a working mom with teenagers flying around the country trying to make it happen. I get it. Okay. I will help you solve your problem by helping you see your soul, bring that into the picture in a more powerful way. And that's how you solve all these problems. It's simple, not easy. And some people don't want to take responsibility for it, but I want you to take responsibility for yourself because your divine creator put you on here to be awesome. You're in this human experience. You're on this planet to do something awesome and special that only you are made for. And we'll help you find that. mofall.com/live clarity. Let's get you on a clarity call and talk about it. For those of you who are my clients, dive into your next module, dive into your next lesson. Make sure you're getting the coaching. If you're a grad, please stay on with your daily work and your success ritual. And when you need to go plug into more, get back into those modules. When you work with me, you get lifetime access to all of the resources and tools. If you were working with me 4 years ago, you now have more than triple the resources in your career success library that you have access to. That's how cool I am. You get better and better stuff because I get better and better. The more women we help transform, the better our tools and resources are. And many of you beautiful women have continued to work with us and do advanced accelerator programs, Leadership Academy, the Warriors, the Badass Soulful Leaders, my annual retreat. Oh, I can't wait. Annual treat is the bomb diggity. And it all starts with a clarity call. mofall.com/live clarity. We will see you tomorrow. If you're watching this live tomorrow morning, 8:30 Eastern, if you're listening to this on a podcast or a replay, watch the first 2 and watch the next 2. This is Coach Mofall, mofall.com. Bring your soul to work so you can land your dream job. Over and out, ladies. We will see you tomorrow. It's been fun connecting with you and talking about this runaway topic. Trim the people pleasing today. Own who you are. Let's do it. See you next time.